it is the duty of the government to make sure that all children, there must be an element of automatic transition. So it is, if parents cannot afford, it is the duty of the government to top up what is required for those children to go to school.
Are you suggesting that people must go to high school?
I'm not suggesting, Motegi. The law says that.
Isn't the village polytechnic a place that one can make a career?
Oh yes, fantastic.
It is.
Okay,
you do start at 8, you go to a village polytechnic, you know how to build, to do some carpentry. And you come building houses.
It's not a village polytechnic the way we call it, because that is how now we bring in an attitude for that kid, wherever he or she is listening, will wonder, why am I going to that? And then the attitude just comes in immediately, and they will never perform, because for them, they've already, they think I am just in a village polytechnic. It is a polytechnic that is within her area and that is easy for her to go and affordable. But the exams are the same. That is why we are saying, can we ensure whoever goes to that polytechnic back home and whoever comes to Alliance will be able to sit down on the same exams, just the way we normally sit even when we're in hardships and we sit on one exam. I mean, in this country, there's nowhere you are given an affirmative action that you are in the desert sitting on sand in Turkana, that you will do this exam and the other one. No, we sit on the same. So for me, I want to tell the students, if indeed that is what you got, go to that school. Don't despair. Don't feel that now I am finished. No. Have a purpose of going to that school and proving within this polytechnic I can make it. Because we do make it in any circumstances that are there. The other thing is that we need to ask ourselves, fine, we have said the government. I think, where does CDF come from? It comes from the government, yeah? So I think we should not always stop back to the executive. The executive has ensured it has given CDF 20B. It has ensured the county governments have money. And it is time. And that's why I say, even when somebody is SMSing, for 2014, can we make it a positive initiative for our country to talk positive as we move on? Because if the government has trickled all the money down here, the next thing is, who is the implementer? If Kaimani has sat in an office for that period he has been, then we need to ask Kaimani, fine, we have given you 7 months. You've been there. Where are we moving next? What is your strategic plan for 47 counties? What is your thinking in terms of examination? Because we talk of quality, the teacher, we also need now to address the issue of exams. Because can we have exams that where counties come together and do these exams? Because another thing, and that's why you find one county will do very well, is that they sit down and they agree, we will look for different papers from different counties and let our kids go through it. Then there is another county that is not thinking that way. It's a bit slow. But now, can he have a plan where each county, when they are doing this, even the mocks, you remember there were times we used to do mocks, all of us together, and you'll know, for indeed I'm going to pass this next examination. Because one, the mocks will always be harder than the main exam. But I think it reversed. It's like the mocks are more easier, and that's why they are finding themselves also in this turn. But we used to do papers from all over. You will get a paper from Kakamega, you get it from Kirinyaga, so they mix. But again, the issue of teachers. And for me, I want to tell teachers, it is a two-way thing. If you really want, when I look at the unions, when they start saying, oh, we want to strike, of late I have come to say Makazi and Mutegi, that when you hear them striking, it is next, the teachers will have tuition. So by the time kids are going back, parents have spent like 50 or 20K paying for tuition, because you can't just leave your kid. So the unions also need to tell us this cartel they have started of how to strike and how to make money outside of the strike and then coming back. Because and then ask ourselves next, and that is what now the ministry should be asking. Indeed, these kids had to lose like 1 month, 2 months, but they sat down exams with a kid who was in a private school. And now, you have put them again on the same level. You have not realized there was a mistake you did. You did not follow what they were saying, and so you endangered these kids. You made them lose. Maybe some would have passed if they had gone to school without. Then we also, and I need the ministry to look at it. In March, we were doing elections. Which schools did we close? Public schools. So when you come now, and you condemn them without looking at also what you did to affect them, it will be very unfair. So for me, any kid from a public school, Mutegi and Makazi, who has 250 and above, must go to a government school, not a polytechnic.
Okay, I use the word village polytechnic intentionally, and I still stand by my word that these are village polytechnics. Whether you decide to baptize them to be youth polytechnics, but we have to look at the context in which they operate, and at what point do we tell our children to go to the village polytechnics. We never tell children who are bright to exit and go to the village polytechnics. And as we sit here, you and I talking, Mutegi, to personalize this, would you want your child to go to that youth polytechnic? Okay, don't answer. I know Mwakazi will not be comfortable. I'm not ready for my daughter to go there. The issue is that
Why?
we cannot
But you
Why?
should not forget also, there is a parent, the kid has performed well, he has no money to take that kid to the school that he or she has been called. That kid will go to that polytechnic. Let us not say we are the same. That's why I'm saying we have to imagine this country. We are not at the same level. Yet we have a kid who has 150 over a rich person somewhere who will be walking to a school.
Exactly. So why should you therefore deny a poor child going to a good school just because their parents don't have money? I come to the issue about the teachers and use an example of what we previously had, recently, the issue of promotion and the strike threat. And I use that premise to say that the government is not in control. Because take, for instance, close to 2 years since the TSA Act was passed, we don't have TSC commissioners. TSC is almost not functional, just because we cannot broker on who should go to that commission or not. Therefore, transaction of business at TSC is almost grinding to a halt. I give this example that if the government was on top, it is capable of planning and saying that in the next 5 years, we require 50,000 graduates. We need 200 positions for education financing. We need an additional 3,000 for education instruction and such. But we don't see the government taking initiative. And that is the reason why I say that the education sector is being run by cartels, because the teacher unions have realized of the systemic weaknesses, and that's why they know what they'll put across next, and they will always score, because the government is not basically taking initiative. If the government was taking initiative, it properly plans, it's capable of telling the labor needs that we have, it's capable of telling of the direction that we need to take, and has that political will, and it puts in sufficient resources. I think that we will not be having all these problems that we have, because this country is almost becoming unmanageable, it's almost becoming ungovernable because of the labor movement. Look at the civil society, for instance. I've been a teacher, and it pains when I'm on the other side. Apart from what I do a lot of work with the civil society. When we are the people to pinpoint fingers and tell teachers that I want to ask teachers. I mean, teachers are under a particular contract, and the contract is with the government. One of the things that they sign to the contract is to adhere to the teachers' code of conduct. And if at all there's a problem with the teachers' code of conduct, the Teacher Service Commission has absolute power to revise the code of conduct. Why should we be appealing to the teachers on the media, telling them why they should be more committed to their work? I mean, honestly, Mheshimiwa is here. She knows very well if she can't work, there is a clause that we can recall her.
But you know,
why can't the government be on top and put in mechanisms to ensure that people are doing what they are supposed to be doing?
You know, Mutegi, Mwakazi, and that's why I say 2014 we have to be open, put it on the table. When we talk of the same labor movements, telling teachers to go on strike, the unions, the civil society is also supporting that. Civil society does not remember at that time we need children to be in school and we need teachers to do what they are supposed to do. So for me, I'm saying, as Kenyans, can we agree we have a big problem, all of us, because even maybe my mom was a teacher, your mother was a teacher somewhere, but when you look at the way they took it, they were committed to be teachers. They did not, this thing we've come within the 21st century, we look at every career, first of all, our goals is always money. That's an attitude we have. And we even when I'm going, even when I'm doing, today why should I go and do law and the doctor? Money. Because I know I will go, consultancy will come in 2,000 very fast. Just talking to you, I have 2,000 bob. It is finishing our country. The days where we used to have people who will come out and just say, I need to see my country move, is gone. And therefore, the next we need to ask ourselves, within these schools we are fighting for, do teachers even know that is where we used to get what we call nationalism, patriotism, where we can have integration, where we used to now integrate and look at each other as brothers and sisters? Do we still have that? It is something that we need to question as a country as we look at the education sector. Because for me, the transition, this transition that we have, even when you look at young people coming from Form 4, going, when you look at them going to police, why are they having challenges? Because I've stayed for 4 years out there doing everything I can. Then again I join police. Now I go and perfect myself with a gun. So when I come out, if I want to be a gang, I'm a gang, a professional gang. But then, the next thing we need to ask, and I think this is one thing Jubilee government is thinking of, and I know I'll bring a bill in the house, and you'll hear how parents will wake up. Why should we have NYS coming back? Yeah, the attitude. But I'm saying that NYS can help these young Form 4s to come in, let them join NYS, those who want, and from there, let the government use this. Let us stop this